Are the Flyers players for Quinn Hughes, and Rick Tocchet making a joke at his press conference on Thursday at their morning skate as they get set to face Carter Hart and the Vegas, well, Carter Hart's not playing, but the Vegas Golden Knights with Carter Hart on the bench. And he was comparing one of his defensemen to Quinn Hughes just in terms of some different attributes. And he said, oh, probably shouldn't talk about that today. And look, the Flyers would be one of those teams without question that would be salivating to get their hands on Quinn Hughes. The disconnect, I think, that the Flyers would have in being able to make a trade of that magnitude is think about what the Canucks would want in return. They want a young top-end center to add to their mix. The Flyers are in search of and don't have a young top-end center as part of their franchise profile. So I think that's important to keep in mind as you try and sort out who may be a trade partner and who isn't. Not saying it's impossible. I just think it makes it that much harder that they're both chasing the same thing. Remember, this is a Canucks franchise that a couple short years ago had Bo Horvat, JT Miller, and Elias Pettersson down the middle. That has eroded now to just Elias Pettersson. And with that, the Canucks' chances, their ability to be in the playoffs and be an impact team have eroded with it. Nathan says 100% New Jersey Devils for Quinn Hughes. I mean, in theory, that makes sense because, yeah, the storyline here that everyone wants to see come to fruition, unless you're in Vancouver, is to get three brothers playing on the same team. Put Quinn with Luke and Jack, and away you go. I don't think it's that simple. And again, I'm not being pessimistic here at all. This is just my overall view of the Devils, what they are and what they need. Now you could say, hey, they could absolutely use a Hart Trophy caliber defenseman. I mean, who couldn't? But I start to think of the bigger picture. And remember when the Hughes brothers were advocating for Luke to play number one power play? Would Quinn going to New Jersey cannibalize his own brother's power play time on the Devils blue line? I think that's a fair question to ask. Then the next question is going to be cap hits. Just smashing together the three Hughes brothers overall, you're talking about a huge percentage of cap. Luke is making 9. The next contract for Quinn, I would have to imagine, starts with a 15, so that's 24. Jack makes another 8 plus. That's north of 32. That's 30-some% of your cap in the short term. Yes, that number is going to go down, but for 3 players, it's not insignificant. Then the next part is, okay, think about the other gymnastics that the Devils have to work through in order to achieve something like that. What are they giving up to entice Vancouver? You're going to have to probably pay a premium if you're the Devils, call it the Hughes brother tax, because you've already got 2. It's kind of like thinking about Monopoly. And as you're making your way around the board, if you've got 2 green cards, 2 green properties, and someone has 1, in order for you to buy the 1 from them because they know that you have 2, well, it's not that cheap. And so that's certainly something to keep in mind as well. And maybe a great analogy to think about, particularly with the ties to Monopoly and Atlantic City, New Jersey as well. BC says the Red Wings make the most sense other than New Jersey. He's got family in both places. See, ding, ding, ding. I think this is one that makes a ton of sense. They could really use him on their back end. They have a clear opening and space and need. He grew up in Michigan, went to Michigan. This is a team on the rise, a team that has the assets to give up. They've got a center to give up. I think the Detroit Red Wings are certainly going to be a team to watch whenever we get to that point with Quinn Hughes. Patty says, how would the Devils get Quinn? They already have lots of offensive D-men, and they won't want to trade Nemitz. So Simone Nemitz, I would think, would have to be part of this package going the other way if you're Vancouver, plus whatever you can manage up front. And I think, again, that outlines, okay, when I mentioned the other things that need to happen for New Jersey, well, what about Dougie Hamilton and his inflated salary? How do you get out from under that to start the ball rolling? Then what are you giving up? And then is it like jamming a square peg into a round hole in terms of the fit for your roster? Everyone else wants to chime in. MCOM says the Habs could use him. Everyone can. The Islanders have a great prospect pool. I wouldn't sleep on the New York Rangers as another team that would be potentially very interested. The Caps are another team. What about some other teams? I throw the Chicago Blackhawks into the mix. I'm not saying they're interested, but if you're talking about prospect pool to deal from, they don't quite have a defenseman like Quinn Hughes. No one does really outside of Cale Makar, but they've got great defensive prospects and they've got a couple centers that they could trade from so long as you're probably not moving Anton Frundell. A lot of other young guys could be in the mix.